Today we're driving the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia Limited. This has a 2.5 liter four-cylinder and a hybrid powertrain that makes 240 horsepower. We have an eCVT, electronically controlled all-wheel drive with a rear electric motor. This is a very nice crossover in the Toyota space. It's a little bit more luxurious than the Highlander. Not as tall, not as big. This is only a two-row SUV. And it's kind of this sleek, sexy wagon shape. It's much better looking than the Toyota Crown sedan. Let's walk you guys around it today, talk about what it's been like to live with this week. As tested with the advanced technology package, this is $53,200. So for what you're getting, I mean, this is basically a Lexus, but with, I think, a slightly better to use interior and maybe some nicer, arguably some nicer interior materials. I think that's pretty well priced. Sleek roof design, finished in this finish line red. Really nice looking color. It is a big SUV. It has a pretty large footprint on the road, but in dimensions, it's just a little bit smaller than the Toyota Highlander. We have 21-inch wheels wrapped in 235/45 R21 Bridgestone Turanza tires. Yeah, these are massive wheels. They look good on the car. Probably a little bit large for my tastes, but they do look sharp. Let's pop the tailgate here. Nice low loading floor, lots of cargo space back here. Do we get a compact spare tire? Nope, there's a fix-it-flat kit. You do get a nice cargo cover. You can easily fold down those rear seats like so. And they fold pretty much flat with a little bit of an upswing. And then one party piece with the Crown Signia is that it does this for some extended space. So you can move these seats forward and you've got a pretty large place here to, I don't know, camp, sleep, lay some things out. Lots of configurability with this interior. After living with this Crown Signia this week, really the only complaint that I've been able to come up with is that the roof height just isn't as tall and spacious as some other Toyota SUVs like the Highlander, for example. But I'm 5'10", I fit in here pretty well. I just have about maybe 1.5 inches above my head, kind of on the sides here. Same with the driver's seat. I would like that driver's seat to scoot down just a little bit farther so that I get a lower driving position. But I think if you're under 6 foot, you'll fit in this okay. But if you're a taller individual, or you've just got a bun on top of your head and a lot of hair, then you might want to sit in this before you actually buy the car. I really like what Toyota's done with this interior. It's easy to use, it's functional, lots of physical controls and buttons. The material choices are really nice, and I think it's designed very attractively. We've got Toyota's new steering wheel, some bronze accents throughout the interior. This leather feels really soft. Your center console opens from both sides. Ergonomically, it's an easy car to use. Nice digital displays, good connectivity. I mean, there's a lot to like with just the everyday livability in this Toyota Crown. We've got some storage in the seat back pockets, a couple USB-C ports, vents, nice big panoramic sunroof there, a digital rear view mirror, and the JBL sound system in this is quite good as well. This is rated for 39 miles to the gallon in the city and 37 on the highway. So for a 38 mpg combined rating, it's pretty fuel efficient for a big SUV in this space. Got some nice features over here to the left. 2-seat memory settings, auto up-down windows in all 4 corners. Not going to hit those switches though because I did just wash the car. For winter driving, we've got a windshield wiper heater, which is really nice. Screen illumination right there. Buttons to pop the tailgate and the fuel filler cap. This has a heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats. You get 2 modes of heated steering wheel action. That's nice. Eco mode for climate control. A few different drive modes. Throttle tuning, climate control. All that is kind of programmed into these drive modes. Eco, normal, sport, and custom. I've mostly been driving between eco and normal this week. Massive digital gauge cluster with a ton of adjustability. I wasn't the biggest fan of this new gauge design initially, but the customization is so nice that you can kind of do whatever you want with it. You can have a really minimal display. You can customize the information you have in these two pods to the right or the left. There are just so many options here to kind of see the information that you might want. Down here we have a really nice wireless phone charging solution. Always stays on the element, always charges my iPhone. Many wireless chargers do not, and that's probably due to the camera bump. But this is a really, really nice wireless charger. Quick access to a camera view button right there. That's part of the advanced technology package, this 360 panoramic view camera. Drive mode selector, traction control, auto hold, EV mode, parking brake. There's your center console again. Nice cup holders, water bottle holders, and you've got a little piece here that comes out so you can increase your storage space in there. 2 USB-C ports, physical climate buttons. We get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Pretty responsive, nice big screen. You can go full screen with that, or have this little quick access icon panel to the left. We do get a good amount of adjustability with the steering wheel. It tilts and telescopes, and I find these seats to be really comfortable this week. Again, driving position is just a little bit taller than I would like, but I do have enough room in here at 5'10". My head is about maybe 4 inches from the side pillar here. Let's pop the hood, take a look at the engine here. 2.5 liter hybrid, 2 electric motors in the front to power the front wheels, and then 1 electric motor in the rear, giving this all-wheel drive. It's a little bit noisy under heavier throttle applications. We'll get on the road and let you guys be the judge of that. Very fuel efficient. Not quite meeting EPA numbers this week, and a lot of around town driving just because of the colder temperatures and a lot of cold starts. So really, your fuel economy in one of these is going to definitely depend on your driving habits. In our 2021 Toyota Highlander Hybrid, we average around 28 miles to the gallon combined in the winter and about 32 in the summer. So it kind of depends on temperature and what you're doing with the vehicle. All right, we've walked around this enough. Let's go for a drive and see how it feels on the road. Good visibility all the way around. Really smooth power delivery at lower speeds. Gotta love a Toyota hybrid system. All their hybrids just kind of drive like big Priuses, and this Crown Signia is no exception. Brake pedal tuning can be a little bit wonky at lower speeds. That's pretty typical for most Toyota hybrids these days. Honestly, this drives very similarly to our 2021 Toyota Highlander Hybrid Limited. Power delivery is seamless. Not a ton of responsiveness from this powertrain. It does take a little bit to come on power. You got to get those revs up when you're merging onto the highway. But overall, it's so smooth and so efficient, I can kind of forgive its lack of performance sometimes. Let's talk drive modes. Right now, we're in eco mode. Throttle response is pretty conservative in this mode. I find it to be a pretty nice drive mode to live with on a daily basis. You're in EV mode a little bit more often at lower speeds. The only con is on cold startup. It does take forever for the climate control to warm up the car because, again, it kind of automatically puts that climate control in eco mode. So in some situations, I'll start off the day in normal, let the car come up to temp, and then put it into eco mode when I'm driving around town or something. Haven't messed around with sport mode too much, but again, that'll just give you better throttle response. It really does take about 2 seconds for this car to come on power. After you've hit the throttle, you'll hear a lot of noise, there won't be a lot of acceleration, and then it'll kick in. Feels kind of sluggish, especially compared to our Highlander. I feel like our Highlander Hybrid is a little bit faster at speed and off the line. It has a bit more of straight line performance. That said, handling here is decent for a crossover. You know, it's about what you'd expect from a Toyota in this space. A little bit of safe understeer. A little bit greasy out today with all the salt in the roads. It's very, very quiet at speed. Not a lot of NVH over bumps, even on these 21-inch wheels. Big pothole back there, and it wasn't even phased. Ride quality is excellent. I'm always kind of shocked at how much customization there is with these new Toyota vehicles. There's just so much you can adjust, change, turn on, turn off. There are a lot of settings in the settings menu. A bunch of acronyms. You don't know what they mean. You got to look them all up in the user manual. But it's just all these annoying little things, the beeping noises, these safety settings that you can go in, and fortunately you can turn them off. But when you get the car standard and everything's left on, there are so many notifications, warnings, things beeping and bonging at you. You leave the car, you lock it, it beeps a bunch of times reminding you that maybe you opened the back door and you left someone in the back seat. Cross traffic alerts always bonging and going off when you get your turn signal on. And maybe let off the brake at an intersection. It's constant. So some of these things you can turn off, disable. Some you can adjust warning volumes, turn those off, reduce them, and that's nice to have in a car like this. So I gotta hand it to Toyota. At least you can customize these cars in the driving experience a little bit more than we've seen in the past. Don't expect this Crown Signia to give you a sporting driving experience. The focus here is definitely on luxury, comfort, and efficiency. All right, on the highway, let's see how this does. We have an adaptive cruise control system, really nice lane centering system, lane change assist, which I assume maybe is just telling us if people are on our blind spots. It's just kind of disabling the systems. It's not actually doing the lane changing for us. The lane centering system lasts a super long time. It seems to work really, really well, even in inclement weather with a little bit of snow and water on the ground. Right now, our roads are not in the best condition in Michigan. We've got salt down, and it seems to be holding a pretty nice line. One thing I did forget to mention earlier is that you can choose between a standard tachometer or this eco power charge meter. I kind of prefer this in a Toyota hybrid just because it's easier to see how much you have left in kind of acceleration percentage around town if you're in EV mode and you want to stay in EV mode. Usually EV mode will kick off at this first eco tick right there, that first line. But if you stay under that, you can stay in EV mode most of the way around town, which is nice. There is a little bit more wind noise at higher speeds. You can mitigate some of that by closing the panoramic sunroof, but overall, pretty quiet driving experience at speed here. And with the driving assistance tech, very comfortable, very relaxing. Everything turns off when you hit the brakes or hit cancel. Has taken me a little bit of time to get used to Toyota's new cruise control switchgear here, but once you do kind of accustom to it and basically learn that muscle memory, it's great. It works really well. You can basically set your speed with this button right here, or reset your speed if you want to change how fast you're going, and then resume right here with the plus and minus buttons. Change your mode between adaptive cruise control, regular cruise control, and then your lane centering, lane keep assist is right there. Let's go back into eco mode. Show you what this is like in EV here. A little bit of acceleration in EV mode, and then the engine's going to kick on. Let's see how this handles around a tight corner here. Definitely, you feel the lower slung nature of this Crown Signia compared to the Highlander or Grand Highlander, but ultimately, it's still about the same driving experience. I think what I appreciate most about Toyota's hybrids is just the smoothness they're able to achieve. From that initial acceleration to just kind of cruising around, it's a really nice powertrain to live with. This 2.5 isn't as droney as it is in our Highlander. I feel like they've changed the tone of it slightly. And honestly, if you're just cruising around normally, you don't really notice it. Letting off the throttle, going into EV mode. It does a pretty good job of coasting. If you just kind of lightly give it some acceleration, you can usually maintain your speed under 50 miles an hour or so in EV mode if you have enough charge in your battery. Alright, let's bump this into sport mode, and we'll hit a couple more corners here. Once power does come on, acceleration is decent. I wish it would deliver it a bit quicker in drive modes outside of sport mode. Sport mode feels great. All right, let's do a quick sound system test. Hear what this JBL is like. Going to go ahead and say it. I think this JBL is probably the best JBL I've heard in the Toyota lineup, and this is probably one of the best sound systems in this segment. I know people like to hate on JBL's systems in Toyotas, but I don't know, I think they've really come a long way with this one in this Crown Signia. It's super clear, it's pretty well balanced. I mean, to my ear, I'm not an audiophile. I don't analyze these audio systems as much as some other journalists out there, but to my ear, it sounded really good this week, even playing kind of lower fi stuff on Spotify. I've been really impressed with this JBL this week. It almost sounds as good, if not better, than some Mark Levinson systems, depending on the car. So, top marks for the JBL sound system in this Crown Signia. all-wheel drive system seems to perform pretty well most of the time. There was one instance earlier this week where it was a little bit wet out, and the front wheel, I was turning left out of an intersection, and the front left wheel got some wheel spin and completely cut power to everything, and it was kind of a dangerous situation because traffic was coming. But if you're ginger with the throttle and you kind of blend on smoothly, it's not as much of an issue, and it seems to distribute power more to the rear axle. Still, I would like a little bit more sophistication from the all-wheel drive system, especially in inclement and slippery conditions. But again, 99% of the time, it works great. And it is nice to have that little bit of extra power going to the rear axle in snowy conditions. Alright guys, well those are some thoughts on the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. How can we sum up the car? Drives great, looks nice. I think it's priced pretty well for what you're getting. I mean, we drove a BMW X3 with a plastic interior the other day, and maybe that was a little bit sportier and more fun to drive, but this is such a nicer overall vehicle than that. And as a luxury option, I think this really kind of blends the difference between Toyota and Lexus perfectly. It gives you the nice interior without all the annoying touch buttons on the steering wheel, more physical controls, but it still feels really premium, high-end. It's quiet, good sound system, good looks. I mean, it's kind of the whole package. Really, the only cons that I can come up with are power levels, and the roof height is just a little bit lower. It's more sedan-like, but not maybe not as cramped as the Crown sedan, or maybe some of the other sedans in the Toyota lineup. It kind of splits that difference between sedan and SUV, and I don't know, I would own one of these. I think this is a very recommendable car to people who want something in this kind of $50,000 to $55,000 price point. Overall, I've really enjoyed living with this Crown Signia this week. I think really the only gotcha is just, roof height is a little bit limited. If you're a taller person, definitely sit in this, make sure you fit. If you're wearing a bun or something, make sure your hair fits. Go out to the dealer, sit in one of these, and kind of assess from there. But as long as you kind of meet the height criteria, I think this is a pretty nice overall SUV. I really like what Toyota's done here, and I've enjoyed living with it this week. So that's gonna be a wrap on this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. We'll talk to you guys later. I got so much snow on my feet.